Have separate bank accounts.
But Tisha Campbell was talking about how after bankruptcy, and I could relate to this too. Being when I went through not bankruptcy, divorce. When I went through a divorce, I lost over $1 million, and so it's real. Like there's some things, the Bible says. Ecclesiastes 11:2 tells you to have 8 revenue streams because we never know when a disaster is going to strike. It could be in the form of a divorce, a death, a COVID, whatever. For Tisha Campbell and myself, it was because of a divorce.
I was 21. What would I say to my 21-year-old self? Have separate bank accounts. Don't do no joint. Do a joint just to pay the bills, but always have autonomy with your finances. As soon as you give up autonomy with your finances or any fiscal matters, you lose yourself.
No, I'm a fan of Susie Orman, and so that was something that she always talked about. I don't know if she still has that show on was it MSNBC? But I used to watch her. She'd be going off on those live callers, but she was always an advocate of having separate bank accounts and a joint account for bill paying. It's just the smartest thing to do. And unfortunately, we're in a male-dominated society, and men make more money than women. I mean, the women are 80 cents on the dollar, and so many women get into these situations where the man makes more money, and if he's if he has access and he's controlling the bank account, then he's like, well, I'm bringing home all this money. So women, we don't have our own money. Then, like in this instance of like a stay-at-home mom or someone who's working part-time or has quit her job to take care of the kids. So I just think as a woman, we have to protect ourselves and have some autonomy on our accounts. And then it's just smart. I had one of my godmother, her husband, and they're from a different community, an Eastern European community, and the men kind of controlled everything. But I remember that her husband died, and he was the love of her life. He died at 40 suddenly of a heart attack. And he had like $300,000 or $400,000 in the bank. She had no access to the bank accounts. She had no access to any of the passwords and things. They had a child in common. So she's sitting here she had a side business, like a small business, but he was the breadwinner, and she had to go through probate court just to get access. And every time, because he had no will, they hadn't talked about any of this stuff. Whenever her son needed anything, then she had to write to the judge and send off that information. And that just could have been avoided by having financial planning and making sure you know what's going on and exercising some financial judiciousness as a couple.